Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to learn English, and you guys know that here we strive our best to learn how to pronounce English. We also learn how to break words into different parts using the phonic songs so that we can pronounce our words properly. And this would also help us a lot with learning different meanings for different parts of the word. Like, for example, we would learn the prefix, the suffix of different words, and this would help us to gain a deeper understanding of the words that we are studying and their meaning. Thank you so much for being here and for always choosing to be here. It is such a pleasure having you guys here, and we are going to read. So, how have you guys been doing? It has certainly been a while. Let me know, guys. Please type in the comment section, share with me how you are doing, and let me know what you have been up to and how has your learning journey been going when it comes to learning how to read English as a second language. So, guys, please go ahead, type in the comment section, let us know. And you guys can say how you're doing today. That would be good to know how you're doing. Also, please go ahead and type where you're from in the comment section, as this helps us a lot in tailoring our instructions to suit your needs. I mean, we learn how to make our instructions suit your learning pattern better. In knowing where you're from, that's what it helps with. So, guys, please let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, guys? Type in the comment section, guys, if you can hear me. Thank you so much for being here. We learn how to make our instructions. All right, so that was just for me to know that you were hearing me because I've not seen anyone typing in the comment section. It has certainly been a while since we've been here, and because it has been a while, uh, yes, it makes sense for me to really um, do that. So today we are going to begin with our session for today. So I'm gonna be sharing my screen, guys. All right, please let us get right into it as I share my screen. Let me know if you guys can see the screen, and we are set and ready to go. We are ready to learn English. So, guys, I'm just going to stop the screen for a while because I want to make sure that I have the best setting for you so that you guys can see the screen. I'll also have the link to the live in the comments. If you guys feel so inclined to join, you can go ahead and join us as we go ahead and learn to read English as a second language. All right, guys, so now we are ready to share our screen. Let's do that and let's begin. All right, so today's session we are going to be looking at some words that might be interesting to you. And these words they associate with the recent hurricane, and you guys may have heard about it before that there was a recent hurricane in Florida, and it also affected other places within the United States of America. So if you guys have heard about that, then that's what we're going to be reading about. So we have had sessions before where we read about hurricanes. So it is really not our first time reading about hurricanes. If it is your first time, then welcome here. Welcome to the live. And thank you so much for being here to read about hurricanes. So, guys, think about what you know about hurricanes. I'm sure that there are information that you may have previously about hurricanes, as this is a topic that is often talked about. So, hence, you may have some information that you can also share on the topic. So, let's go ahead and let's begin to read. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. All right, guys. Sometimes it happens where we sometimes have problems. All right, so let's begin. So we're going to be reading by breaking our words so that we can learn them, how to pronounce them properly in English. Our first word, we have the word L. A and R together makes a sound R. When G comes before E, I, or Y, it makes a sound like J. So we are going to say J. The E at the end is silent. When we pronounce this word, we'll say large, large. The E at the end is silent. Remember, we're also doing vocabulary. So this word large, we can use other words to mean the same thing. Some of the other words that we can use are words like gigantic, enormous, mammoth, vast. All these words can say that something is large. We can also use the word grand. Grand. When we use the word grand, we are saying that it is large. All right. So our word there is large. Large. Our next word, st. S and T together, we hear s and t. St. O and R makes the sound O and m. We put it all together, we have storm. Storm. What is a storm? Have you ever experienced a storm? Do you know what it is? Okay, well, let's think about it. So, a storm is where you have a lot of rain. You also have thunder. You may have lightning, and you have like gust winds. So, that's when the wind is very, very dangerous. As in the wind, we would say that it is high or the wind is boisterous. That's what we call gust winds. All right. And that's when the wind speed is very high. Our next word, SNT again, st. Put it all together. We have str, and then we have o and ng. When we put it all together, we have str, ong, strong, strong. When something is strong, it means that it is very powerful. It is very powerful. Our next word, w, short sound for I, a, and then d together, nd. Let's put it all together. A, nd, wind. Now let's add the S sound. Remember, always call the first part of the word and then you add any songs that are at the end. So once you do this, it will be easy for you to pronounce the word. Our word here is winds, winds, winds. And what are winds? So the wind is the air when it becomes, as in when it blow in a way that it can make noise, or in a way that it allows trees to sway back and forth, or even their branches, or it move things like maybe light things, for example, a plastic bag can move things like can you see the wind? Okay. Our next word, eh. The A is silent in this word because E and E together in the word says eh. I know that you may be very familiar with E and A saying E. However, in this word, we are hearing a short sound where the E makes the E sound. So we have E, v, the Y at the end makes the E sound. So our word is have E, heavy, heavy. When something is heavy, it means that it contains a lot. It contains a lot. Or we can say when something is heavy, that that thing it sometimes weighs us down. All right. Whenever it's heavy, it has a lot in it, or it has a lot of weight, or we can say that it weighs us down. Our next word, r, A and I together, A. The A makes the song, a long song. The I stays silent. Then we hear n. When we put it all together, we have in, rain. Our next word, K and N together. K is silent. N makes the sound. So we hear n, O and W make the sound O. Then we hear n. Remember, O and W can also make the sound our. But in this word, we hear O. So let's put it all together. Oh, no. So we have the word no, and then we just add n to it. So we have known, known. What does it mean when something is known? When something is known, it means that that thing is popular or that it is something that is common. Our next word, uh, uh. So we hear uh, her. Then we hear r, the short I sound a, and k. The e at the end is silent, so the vowel would say its name. We hear k, in, cane. So we can see this small word cane, as in sugar cane, or cane, as in that piece of stick that is used by someone who is blind or would use to do their job. You call it a cane. So let's read it all beginning all the words that we have just done: large, storm, strong, winds, heavy, rain, known, hurricane. Let's now read through that sentence and try to be very fluent. Are you ready? Well, if you're ready, let's go. A large storm with strong winds and heavy rain is known as a hurricane. Let's try it one more time. This time, we are going to try to be more fluent, which means we're going to try to read faster. Are you ready to begin? Let's go. And heavy rain is known as a hurricane. You think you can do that now by yourself? Do you think you know all the words? Let's begin. A large storm with strong winds and heavy rain is known as a hurricane. Lost our connection. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. My apologies for that. Thank you to you, lovely people who have joined us. It is such a pleasure having you here. So, our next word that we have just completed is the word or now together or form. We said the form of something is the way that this thing is shaped, or the outline of it, or how it is designed, or its structure. or the way that something exists. So, for example, the way that human beings exist, you would say that that is their form. Our form is for our body to be upright, as in our head at the top and our feet at the bottom. That is our regular form. So, if you're familiar with the word form, you can type in the comment section. And thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. Thank you also for hitting the like button. Our next word, w, a and r together are, put it all together, w, warm, warm, warm. When something is warm, it means that it is neither hot nor cold. However, it is in between. All right, when something is warm, it is neither hot nor cold. It is in between. Another word that we can use for the word warm is the word snugly. So, in case of us thinking about warm being something that is comfortable, we can use the word snugly. If we are thinking about it in terms of temperature, we can say temperate or we can say tepid. We can use those two to also mean warm. All right, our next word, the O makes a long O sound. We hear O. The C makes a sound like S, so we hear S, O. And then the C and E is actually saying sh together, just like SI and CI would make the song sh. And then we hear the small word an. And when we put all that together, we have the word O, sh, an. O, sh, an. Ocean, ocean, ocean. Do you know what is the ocean? In the world, we have different oceans. We have, for example, the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and there are other oceans that you can research to learn the others if you do not know what an ocean is. So, what really is an ocean? So, an ocean is actually the sea. It's actually the sea, the deep part of the sea. So, it is actually where you find the deep areas of the sea. It's like the very large expanse of the sea. That is what you would call the ocean. Okay? So the ocean is that large body of salt water that covers uh, a big percentage of the earth. So that's what we call the ocean. Our next word, w, a, and then t, and er. So our word is w, a, t, and water, water. If you are using the American pronunciation, please be careful with this word to pronounce it as water, water, because the American would pronounce the T as a D sound. So you'll hear water, water. However, if you're using British pronunciation, be careful to remember that British would pronounce the T. So you'll hear water, water. All right. If you think you have that together, guys, then you are doing amazing. All right, let's keep going. Our next word, guys, we have the word v, e, r, and the y at the end makes the sound e. So we hear v, er, ver, and e, very, very. When very is added to a word, it is just adding a high degree to that word. So whatever it is, it's telling you that that thing is at a high point, very, very high point, or that that thing is at an extreme point. Our next word, d. The A makes a long A sound. We hear A, N. When G comes before E, I or Y, just like in large, we hear J. So D, in, J, and then the ER here, it makes it sound more like a schwa song. So we hear rather than So we hear danger, and that word says danger. And our next part of the word, this is an ending for in English. The O is silent and the US makes the sound us. So together they make the sound us. When we put the two parts together, we have danger and us. Dangerous, dangerous. When something is dangerous, it means that this thing is harmful. It is something that it's not good to be around, or that thing is a hazard, or that thing is harmful, which means that it can cause bad things to happen to you. All right. So let's go ahead and read this sentence now. Hurricanes form over warm ocean water and can be very dangerous. Now let's read it one more time. This time we're going to try to be as fluent as possible. Let's go ahead, trying to be as fluent as possible. Guys, I'm gonna stop and restart the screen because I'm noticing that you guys are not seeing the screen as I want you to see it. So just give me a moment to reshare that screen so you guys can see it in the best manner, okay? All right, guys. Okay, let's hope that we have it now together. All right, let's keep going. So let's read it one more time. Hurricanes form over warm ocean water and can be very dangerous. Let's try our best to read from the top now. A large storm with strong winds and heavy rain is known as a hurricane. Hurricanes form over warm ocean water and can be very dangerous. If you were able to read that, then you did a very good job. Let's keep going. Our next word, the A makes a long sound. We hear A, so we hear aim. Remember, the word fame and E should be here. However, when you're changing the word to add the suffix at the end, the E would be removed. So we have fame, and then we have the O being making this short sound O. So we hear aim, and then we hear us. Fame, us. So remember, guys, that sorry, the U, sorry, makes the sound and the S makes the sound. The O is actually silent, okay? Just like we did in the word dangerous, the O was silent, so it's the same thing. So we hear aim and the O silent, but then we hear the U makes a sound and the S makes a sound s. So we have aim, us, famous. So if you learn this OUS ending for words that it says us, whatever bigger word that you see it in, it would be very easy for you to call that word. And our word of the night, hurricane, hurricane. So if you have not seen us sung out the word hurricane, to get the parts you can go back. However, it is the U R then R, short I sound A. So we have horror, A, horror, and then we have K, the E at the end silent. We hear the A say a long song. So this part of the word is K, in, because the E at the end is silent. So the two parts of the word would be hurry and cane, hurricane. And then we have hurricane again. Let's call this word now. This is a name. Now, because it's a name, it can be pronounced in different ways. All right. So this can be pronounced as he, where the E makes a long sound, and E, because the E at the end is silent. So this E would make a long sound calling its name. So we hear Helene, Helene. However, it can also be pronounced as hell. So we can hear the E and the L going together. So we can hear and e, l, hell, and we can hear in, Helene. Okay, so it can be pronounced as Helene or Helene. Please note that this pronunciation would vary depending on where you are. So if you hear somebody says Helene or Helene, um, be open to their difference in pronunciation. However, if they're referring to this hurricane, then it would be wise for them to pronounce it in the manner that the hurricane is pronounced as, which is Helene. Okay? Helene. Hurricane Helene. Some may want to pronounce it as Helen. However, Helen would not have a silent E at the end. All right? Our next word, E at the end silent, we hear A. So, made, made. When something is made, it's the past tense for the word make, and that is where you're able to create something. You'll use that word made. Our next word, w, A and Y together makes the sound A. So we hear w, A, w, A, way. Good. And remember, guys, we are doing these small words too because sometimes, even small words, we sometimes have difficulty calling. Okay, hence the reason we are looking also at our smaller words. Our next word, g, a, f. Our word is g, of, golf. We can pronounce this word by saying g, a, and f. So we can use the L and the F as a ending consonant blend. So we hear loof. So g of golf. Our next word e x. E and X together makes the sound X and A. Short I, then K, and the O makes a long sound O. So we hear K O. So our word is X, Mex, A, and K O. Mexico, Mexico. Our word is Mexico. Have you heard of Mexico before? So Mexico is actually a Spanish nation, and Mexico is located right next to, well, I should not say next to, but it's not too far from the United States of America. Our next word, f, F and L together makes the song fru, ah, and then r, and then a, d. So we have id, rid. We can use that as a small word in this word. So we hear fru, rid, and ah. So our word here is flu, rid, and ah. Florida, Florida. And Florida is one of the states in the United States of America. This word late, the N is silent. We hear the long A sound, sorry. That's where the vowel call its name, we hear A. So we say late, late. If not, you can see the small word eat in it, as in the past tense for the word eat. When you're late, it means that you are not on time. It means that you have been delayed or held back. Our next word, sep, sep, em, tem, and this is a word that rhymes with stem, hem, and those words. So we see the M rhyming it. So we have sep, sep, and tem, b, and er. Remember, the Americans would make the sound for er. However, the British would cut the song very short in a lot of words where you hear like the schwa sound. So let's put it all together. We hear sep, t, m, tem, and b, September, September. Our year 2024. 2024. Remember when we are saying a year in our language, which is English, normally we'll cut the year into two numbers. So we'll split the year into two numbers. Or we can say 2024. So it can be said as 2024, or it can be said as 2024. Okay. So let's now read that sentence that we have just looked through the words. One famous hurricane is Hurricane Helene. It made its way from in the Gulf of Mexico into Florida late September 2024. Look carefully and see if you can really read through this text now. Look carefully, see if you can read through any part of the text now. Do you think you can read through any part of the text now? If so, let's begin. One famous hurricane is Hurricane Helene. It made its way from in the Gulf of Mexico into Florida late September 2024, or we can say 2024. Okay, guys. So let's go ahead and let's keep on reading. Now it's our turn to read from the top. So we are going to be practicing how to read it from the top. Are you ready to practice how to read it from the top? Well, I'm ready. I hope that you are ready. Let's begin. A large storm with strong winds and heavy rain is known as a hurricane. Hurricanes form over warm ocean water and can be very dangerous. One famous hurricane is Hurricane Helene. It made its way from in the Gulf of Mexico into Florida late September 2024, or we can say 2024. All right, so guys, if you think you've learned all the words, let's go ahead and let's keep reading the words. So we are going to be going over those words that we have just done, all of the words that appear to be words that are very difficult for you to call, words that you may have problems with when calling. As you've noticed, we have broken down the words, which means we have broken them down into different parts to ensure that we can call them correctly in English because we want to have the best pronunciations and be able to call other words with similar patterns. Remember, reading English, once you learn the pattern of the word, then you'll be able to call other words. For example, we just call the word storm, and once we have learned the word storm, it was easy to call the word form because these words they rhyme, as in they sound the same. So we hear O and R together make the O sound in them, then we hear mm. So all we have to do is to change the beginning sound. So up here, S and T together, st, but here now we change to f, and then we add om. So that way we are able to call the words easy. It's the same way for the word late and made. They apply the same rule. The E at the end is silent. The A makes a long sound. So we hear m, aid, and in late we hear l, it. Once we learn these patterns, our reading is going to be so on point. Go ahead in the comment section, type words that you want me to repeat, their songs or words that you think that you still have not mastered so that we can practice them. Go ahead and type them in the comment section. Also, guys, please type in the comment section where you're from so we can know where you're from and we can be able to better help you in terms of improving your English to a standard where you are able to read very fluently. And that's our goal for you to be able to read fluently. And we appreciate you being here to read all about the latest storm that has passed over Florida and also some other states in America. And this storm has been one that has been catastrophic, which means that there has been a lot of damage from that storm. And so it would be good to lift up the people of Florida, North Carolina, Atlanta, and even Tennessee and those places You can lift them up in prayers because they're going through a very rough time as they have faced this storm. So, guys, please go ahead, type in the comment section. And at this time, I want to shout out my very active listeners who are always here with me. Thank you to my friend Sassy, who is always here. Uh, I have not been on here for a while, so Sassy, I'm so sorry. I hope that everything is well. We're going to get back to reading, and today it's a start, okay? And to all my lovely friends in India who are always here on our live, thank you guys so much for being here. All those who are from India, thank you so much for always being here. Guys, go ahead, type in the comment section where you're from so we can know where you're from. If you were not here earlier, you can go back to the previous parts in the video where we have highlighted vocabulary, where we looked at the meaning for the words, and you can try to learn those vocabularies so that you can improve your oral English and also your written form of English. If you would like to come up on screen to read with me, there's a link in the comment section. Please feel free to click the link. You don't need to show your video. All you have to do is to use your voice. So that would be you using audio. So go ahead, guys, if you want to come up and try to read the passage, you want to try to decode the words as I have done, that would be very good. And you can feel free to tell us words that rhymes with some of these words. And that's how your reading in English would improve. Remember, some words they do not follow the rule, and once there are words that do not follow the rule, I'll be sure to highlight those words that do not follow the rule. Because remember, when you read in English, you want to make sure that you learn words that rhyme and also those that will not follow the pattern. Because if a word doesn't follow the pattern in terms of the rhyme, then once you know that, you'll be able to actually single out the words when you're reading to know which ones make the song and which ones do not make the songs. Okay? So it's healthy for you and it's something that you should keep practicing all the time. Hey guys, if you haven't done so yet, please share this live with your friends. Let them know that we are reading tonight. And even later, if you're just here for the first time, please share the live. Let them know that we are reading, and let's hope that we get others to join on to read with us. Okay, guys. All right, guys. Let me see you active in the comment section. If not, we are going to just call the words one more time and then we are going to read the text another time and then we are going to end for today's session. We'll be back again, hopefully tomorrow by the grace of God, and hopefully we'll be reading a lot more. Okay, so let's just look at the words that we found difficult to call. Let's look at those words. Remember, if you want to check the vocabularies, please go back to the starting and the middle of the live. Let's call the words again. Large. Remember the G makes a sound like J because it comes before E. And if a G comes before E, I or Y, that's the song that we hear. Storm. The OR makes the sound O. Strong. The N and G together says ng. You hear the short sound for the O. Winds. Heavy. Rain. The AI makes the sound A. The I silent, the A makes the sound known. The K is silent, the N makes the sound. The OW says O and known. Hurricane. In the word hurricane, we hear the UR makes the sound the R makes the sound R, the I makes a short sound A. So we hear R, R, E, hurry. And then we hear K, the A makes a sound A because the A is at the end silent. The N makes a sound N. So we have cane. Put it together, hurricane. Our next word, form, form. Our next word, O, the long O sound, V, and ER, over. Our next word, W, the warm. In our next word, we hear long O, the CE makes the sound sh, and then we hear and, the small word and. So O, sh, and an, ocean. Our next word, W, R, and then we hear the ER say Put it all together, W, R, T, and water. This is the British pronunciation. The American pronunciation would be ward, because Americans pronounce the T as a D sound. So the Americans would say water, the British would say water. Our next word, v, e, r, and the Y at the end makes a sound like E. Remember, Y at the end can make two sounds. We can hear E or I. In this one, we hear E. So we hear v, e, r, e, very. Remember, when something is very added to it, it means that this thing is at a really high degree or it is extremely happening. Our next word, d, the A makes sound A. N, G comes before E, I or Y. We hear a sound like J. So we hear d, ange, and So this part of the word, danger, and danger means something that is harmful or something that can cause bad things to happen to you and something that is not safe. The O is silent, and then we hear the US say us. Together, they make the sound us. So our word here is danger, us, dangerous. Our next word, we have the A makes a long sound A, fame. Remember, fame as in the word fame has an E at the end. However, when you're changing the word, you take off the E, and then you have the same ending where the US makes the sound us and the O is silent. So we have fame and us, famous. We back to the word hurricane, hurricane again. And then this name, we said it can be pronounced as he and l, because the E is at the end, we can hear the E say that comes before, make it sound, say E. So we hear Helene, or it can also be pronounced as Helene, because the EL can also say L. So we hear E and L, Helene, or Helene. In this context, it's pronounced as Helene, all right, because it's been seen as the hurricane. Our next word, aid, made. The E is at the end, silent. The A makes a long song, so we hear aid. That's like when you create something and it has already happened, it's in the past tense, you'll say made. If it's in the present, you'll say make. Our next word, w, A and Y together makes the sound A. W, A. Then we have the word fur, from. And this word from, it's often confused with the word form. Always look at them carefully. With form, we have O and R. And O and R together says or. Okay? Our next word, G, L and F, gulf, gulf. And then our next word, X, E and X together, X. And A, K, and O. We hear the O make a long song. That's why it calls its own name. So we hear Mexico, Mexico. Our next word, flu, or. Then we have the small word rid, like when you get rid of something, and Read all together, Florida, and Florida. And that's a state in the United States of America. Our next word, it. The E at the end is silent, and that causes the A to make a long song, calling its name. Late. When you're late, it means that you are not on time, that you have been delayed, or you've been held back. And our final word is sep, m, tem, and September, September. The Americans would say September, where they stretch the ER. However, the British would say September, very abrupt and short. So that's where they use the schwa sound. 2024, we can pronounce it as 2024, or we can pronounce it as 2024. All right. So guys, we're going to read it one more time from the top, and then we're going to stop right here for today. Okay, so I hope that you guys have learned how to really call all the words in this text. We have studied text on hurricane before, and I do hope that this has really helped you. So I'm going to reshare the screen. I just stopped sharing the screen to discard their lines on the screen. Okay, so we're going to reshare just to get you guys reading now. And this is where we're going to practice to ensure that we have fluency. Guys, remember, if you want to come up to read, please hit that link in the comment section where you can come on screen to read with us. All right. And remember, it's healthy to practice to read in English once you are learning English. So let's begin. Hope that you have remembered the words. We're going to read them now. A large storm with strong winds and heavy rain is known as a hurricane. Hurricanes form over warm ocean water and can be very dangerous. One famous hurricane is Hurricane Helene. It made its way from in the Gulf of Mexico into Florida late September 2024. All right, let's read it one more time. Let's try not to have any mistakes while we are reading. And guys, I'm so sorry that my reading may not sound as normal, and that's because I am currently facing a problem where I think I have a bit of cold. So let's try it again. A large storm with strong winds and heavy rain is known as a hurricane. Hurricanes form over warm ocean water and can be very dangerous. One famous hurricane is Hurricane Helene. It made its way from in the Gulf of Mexico into Florida late September 2024. Or we can say 2024. All right, guys, how do you think that you did while you were practicing? Do you think that you did really well? Or do you think that you still need a lot of practice? Well, if you think you still need a lot of practice, please continue to be here so that we can continue to practice together. All right, so we're just going to read it one more time and then we're going to stop there for today. A large storm with strong winds and heavy rain is known as a hurricane. Hurricanes form over warm ocean water and can be very dangerous. One famous hurricane is Hurricane Helene. It made its way from in the Gulf of Mexico into Florida late September 2024. All right, guys. I want to thank you so much for being here, for reading this text with me, and I hope that you did enjoy doing so and that reading this has really helped you to improve a lot on things that you have been mistaken during reading or songs that you have not known how to call in English, or you have learned new words or new vocabulary. My encouragement to you is to keep practicing reading English so that your English can improve each day. Thank you so much for being here, and hopefully, I'll see you again soon. Don't forget to keep practicing reading in English and also speaking in English. All right, guys, keep practicing reading in English. It was good spending this time with you, and thank you so much for reading with me tonight. And you have yourself a good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Please don't forget to tune in again soon. Keep practicing how to read in English, learn new English vocabulary here, also learn to pronounce English words and learn to pronounce from the phonetical stage so that you can really improve your English to a place where it becomes very fluent. Keep practicing reading English.